Yep. As we sit here, day one of owning a roofing company, I know nothing about owning a roofing company, really. I know a little more than I knew 3 months ago. Welcome to the Reimagining Home Services podcast. I'm Brady Jolly with my partner and COO, Scott Sharrock. We lead a rapidly growing plumbing, HVAC, electrical, and water cleanup business, and we're on a mission to run a $100 million company. Join us as we walk through the challenges, decisions, and lessons that come with that journey. All right, got our new gear on today.
Huge day.
Debuting the new brand. We just announced it to the company this morning. Got the new swag. It's exciting. So today we're talking about a lot of the changes that we're going through today, like literally going through right now.
Yeah.
We had our town hall this morning. We finally announced a couple of things we've been working on so we can talk about it on the podcast. We are whole new rebrand, full rebrand, launched today to the company. Today's a Friday, and Monday it launches to the world. Social media, bus wraps, truck wraps, all over online. The website's being rebuilt. It's going to be all over. We have billboards going up. So that's super exciting. We're going to talk about that today on the podcast. And this morning, we also announced an acquisition of a roofing company. We just acquired a roofing company. It's called MadeWell Roofing Exteriors. So we're going to cover both those things because we just announced those to the team.
Yep.
How do you think the town hall went this morning?
It was awesome. And just for the viewers that don't know what a town hall is, all that really is quarterly we meet with our entire company, every single person here. And then we also had the MadeWell team here today. The energy was electric. There was a lot to cover. The agenda was, tight. You did an exceptional job of facilitating it.
Thanks, man.
We had a really good time, and you can tell when you can read the room. People are clapping. People are getting excited. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's any one of those topics, the rebrand, the engagement survey results, or the MadeWell acquisition could have been a whole topic for the town hall. So it was pretty jammed. And then because we do we do a lot at the end of those town halls too with awards and recognition and Google reviews and everything. So it was a lot, but we got it done in 45 minutes.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought was really cool, one of the MadeWell employees walked up after and was like, I can't believe how transparent you guys are. And we were talking about our, where we're tracking for revenue, where we're tracking for employee bonuses, where we're tracking for net profitability. And he's like, I really like that. So I thought that was a good reminder because we do these things a lot and you can often forget like the impact that can make. But some of the reason why we had a tight agenda is because we are so transparent with our employees. They know change is coming. We've done a great job creating change is good culture, and we're going to continue to grow. But just the transparency that you lead the company with is massive.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's cool. It was cool talking to those guys. When we sat down with MadeWell afterwards and just like it was an intro. Like today, literally this morning was the first time they've been in the building. Mm-hmm. They knew about the acquisition. We closed yesterday. They knew about it. Like some of them a little before that, most of them yesterday, and then they were in the building this morning. Our team didn't know about it. So they're walking in, seeing these guys in MadeWell shirts, like what's going on.
Who are they?
Yeah, so we announced it to start the town halls. It was awesome. But right afterwards, we sat down with them and just set expectations, talking through it, getting to know them. And the one guy's like, man, I guess this is how the big boys do it. Like, this was cool. Like, that was good transparency. I thought that was kind of cool. But let's dive in first. Let's talk about the rebrand, and then we'll shift to the roofing. Kind of like the point of this podcast, we just want to talk about what's going on in our business now to help maybe people who are going through similar things. So this happens to be what's going on right now. That's why we chose both of these things as today. They could probably both be their own episode. Maybe eventually they will. The rebrand started, in my head, it started 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, but it really started to heat up like after HVAC, a few years after HVAC, and then more like recently when we decided to launch electric this year. So when we 2015 went through a rebrand. I was part of that. Our old logo was very much built for just plumbing under it, and then we had our slogan, a flush beats a full house. It was a good, it's been really good branding, I think.
Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed it. I think it shows up well. We had the Jack, mascot. It was kind of cool. But as we added heating and air, we just kind of tagged that on there. We wanted to we wanted to talk about drains more as we built that department. So we threw that in there. So then it was plumbing, drains, heating, and air. And it was kind of a lot. We wanted our slogan. So then under that was a flush beats a full house. So just a lot of words on this logo. And it kind of started to look clunky. Then we're talking about adding electric. It's like, man, we can't just keep tagging stuff on the end of this. So we went through. It's too long, man. Yeah, too long.
We're answering the phone saying 9 things.
Yeah, it's just clunky, you know. So we were like, okay, what should our name be? So we went down, should it be Jolly Home Services? Should it be Jolly Home? Should it just be Jolly? And then we talk about the trades, how we do, you know, should just talk about the trades. So we did some surveys. We looked around, asked a ton of people. We looked at some of our favorite brands in the country. What we determined is like, let's just be Jolly. It's just Jolly, and then we'll talk about our trades. You know, people call us Jolly anyway. They either call us Jolly or Jolly Plumbing. So let's just be Jolly and then talk about the trades. So that's what we did. So most of the time, like on internal stuff or uniforms, it'll just show up. Our new brand will just show up Jolly. On anything external, like out in the public, there will be trades under it. So people know what we do, right? So we went through a cool process. The process of the rebrand's been a lot of fun. There was a lot to think about. One was this like jack in our slogan.
Yeah.
That was big. Do we keep it? Is it a flush beats a full house? It's kind of weird with when you're talking about HVAC. So we decided to get rid of the slogan, get rid of the jack, and bring on a new mascot. So the new mascot, based off my dad in this picture right here behind us, I think we can see that on the cameras. Based on that picture, it's Barry. That's my dad's name. Barry's the new mascot. With all new branding, we added a color. We don't have to go too into the weeds of what it actually is, but we just wanted to look more like when I looked at the company branding, I couldn't connect it to being like a $100 million company like we want to be. I just couldn't connect it. Like I didn't think it could get us there. People that didn't already know the name and weren't familiar with our look, like going into new markets or even pushing into Cincinnati more, like I just didn't think it made a lot of sense. So I'll stop there and just give me your thoughts on the rebrand so far, and we'll go more into it.
Very cool exercise. It's awesome to see when you have the top professionals in their element, how talented they are. I mean, when you start talking about font sizes, color coordinations, text, there's a lot of changes. Text up top, text up bottom. It was just impressive, like very impressive to see. So happy to learn. You really want to get to a whole home service. Like we love our legacy of Jolly Plumbing. And that's where our foundation is. But we also want our brand to match exactly who we are, which is a home service company that's going to be able to do, you know, plumbing, electric, HVAC, water cleanup. Challenging. Very challenging. So, but getting these experts in here and figuring out, okay, how can this visually match the story? How can we also combine the legacy with Barry? And how can we have that live forever? The mascot is amazing. Like it's so cool, and I think it's going to be something permanent, long term. Versus, not that the Jack didn't serve us well, Jolly Jack, but it's like this serves us better, and I think it's exciting and just shows us the trend we're going.
Yeah. So a lot of this started with the market share study that we did. We were able to really we just learned how much more opportunity. I mean, we already knew it, but just the more opportunity, it was eye-opening in HVAC. HVAC is the opportunity, you know, and we're known as a plumbing company where we're at. So reshaping that to try to be known as a whole home service company, maybe even like HVAC first, that's kind of that's the big trade, you know, and the big market share. Of course, we still want to do electric, still want to do plumbing, still want to do water cleanup, but the volume is going to be in HVAC. We're in a unique position because we have such a high concentrated market share in Northern Kentucky, you know, up to more than 30% in some counties in plumbing, like 8% in some counties in HVAC. But then you go 10 minutes away right across the river and we have like 2 or 3% in certain counties in plumbing and like less than 1% in HVAC and like 1.5% in everything. So very small market share there. Perfect opportunity for us because we can just push right across there. So we have this unique thing where we're marketing to people in our area right here who've known us for 47 years. then we're marketing to people who may not really even know us 10 minutes away, who we want to like double down on, and that's where the growth that we need to have. So in that, we're like, this shouldn't be known as just Jolly Plumbing. Like we want people to see it. So we reshaped even like our trades in order are heating, air, plumbing, and electric. That's intentional. That's how it's going to show up everywhere. You know, we want to be known as an all service company. And this look we just thought was one, easier to read, clearer, less wordy, just like a fresh look, you know. So super excited about it. But I want to talk about the when you're going through a rebrand, like the actual, there's a lot of decisions to be made, like the logistics of it. So
there's a lot of opinions. Like that's the hard part is, you know, everyone has an opinion, and some of these people have been doing it for a really long time. So like, you have an opinion, your marketing company has an opinion, your billboard company has an opinion,
SEO company,
SEO, and that's
social media.
Not even including the people that are doing the design.
Yeah.
And their whole staff.
And like, I'm kind of a people pleaser sometimes. Like I'm sending it out to people that are my friends, my circle, trying to get ideas, and like there's a million different opinions. I mean, it's a lot. I'm sure we chose some ways that certain people didn't like, but that's okay. But from a logistics standpoint, like, you know, we have about 46 trucks that are in the old right now, wrapped in the old brand. Since January, all the new trucks that we've got, I think it's been 7 trucks. We haven't wrapped, so they're just been driving around white for the last 3 months. Those get wrapped next week. So then, as we replace vehicles, we'll get new wraps. We're not going to go rewrap our whole entire fleet. From a cost standpoint, that'd be about like $145,000, and we didn't want to do that. So it's going to be a 2 or 3 year process. We're replacing 4 or 5 more vehicles this year because they're at the end of their life. So those will get wrapped. So by the end of the year, we're going to have 10 or 11 wrapped trucks. That's going to be great. From a marketing standpoint, the timing, we lined the timing of the rebrand up with some transit and some billboard creative. What creative was due. So we're wrapping buses right now. So we're wrapping 3 full buses, doing a ton of just the sides, just the back. They call them like super Kongs and tail like the
baby gorillas.
The smaller tail and stuff. So we've got like 15 pieces of branding going on buses that like gets wrapped starting next week. They'll be on the road. Several billboards, like 7 billboards out there that just got done last week. But man, I'm feeling like, so right away I think there's going to be a splash. We'll see it. But everywhere I look now, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's another logo, old logo. I mean, just walking around our office, our logo is on everything.
Yeah, I mean, a flush pizza Full House right on the coffee mug.
Yeah, back of my laptop, we got all the stickers, all the branding. I'm like looking around, it's everywhere. So I think the transition point, like we're hoping in 2 years or so, it's going to be pretty seamless.
Fully done.
And I think that's okay. Like, when I used to think about a rebrand, I would think about it as we have to come in and literally pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to rebrand everything that we have to our new logo. I don't think that's necessary. Another big thing, social media, that's all changing Monday, and then our website is in the process of being rebuilt. In a month, that'll be launched.
And then all the like custom materials is they're customizing and building now. You know, yard signs, Jolly Home pamphlets, all the small things, stickers for equipment, business cards. So it's going to be exciting getting those, and those are. You're buying those as you use them most of the time anyway, so it's not going to be crazy.
Yeah, so from a cost perspective, like I always pictured a rebrand being hundreds of thousands of dollars. I really don't think it's going to be that way. I mean, you pay the cost for the rebrand, you know, the design work for the rebrand, and then you pay like most of this stuff we'd have been doing anyway. Like we were going to have to wrap these 7 trucks we're wrapping. We were going to do the bus ads anyway. We were going to do the billboards anyway. So I think it's a timing thing. I do wish that, like, we decided in December that we were going to do the rebrand because it was just this epiphany. We knew we were doing electric. We thought we might be able to just limp along with our old brand and maybe plan it longer. Yeah. But then we're like, man, we're spending the most we've ever spent on marketing. We have all these activations, new buses, new billboards, all these trucks this year. We're like, man, we have to get it done.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off. So it was about a 3-month. I think 3 months was tight, but I think it was pretty comfortable from like initial meeting with the rebrand company. It might even have been 2.5 months to now. But I would just think anybody's thinking about doing it, you can do it where the cost isn't like crazy. I mean, I think for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 or less, you can do a really, really good rebrand. I'm talking like, everything, design stuff and everything, but and changing the graphics on stuff, and then just phase it in. So, what else on the rebrand? Anything else coming to mind?
Well, one thing is we talked a little bit at the beginning about roofing. The roofing company will not be part of our Jolly brand. That's going to have its own brand. MadeWell will remain its own separate company. It'll be 2 separate brands, so that won't be like a tuck-in, or it won't be Jolly, heating and air, plumbing, electric, roofing, water cleanup. Siding, windows.
Doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Jolly.
Yeah.
But that's exciting as well, but that could come up. Someone could think about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought it was fun. How we brought it to our leadership team. The whole company was kind of a part of it. We sent out surveys, created some excitement around it, and just made it like a team win. And the launch today went really well. I think people were pumped about it.
Yeah, everybody was expecting it. We had sent surveys out to our team saying, what should our name be? Should it be Jolly Home Services, Jolly Home? We gave some teasers. We posted a lot of teasers on social media about like our colors and our mascot and stuff. So it was fun. I mean, it was really a fun process. I'm glad it's over though.
Yes.
It's not over.
It's another building block.
It's not over. I mean, there's like 10 emails in my inbox now about like the design of everything. I mean, everything's designed, all the yard signs, all the equipment stickers, like every internal piece of everything. Like I said, like it's going to be a lot of design work, but that's okay. Let's shift to roofing. Maybe I'll just tell the story about how this happened. We were not seeking out, like we've been seeking out acquisitions for 5 years. Finally just had our first one in January. It's been a lot harder to get them across the finish line than I ever anticipated, but had a small one in January, and we were not seeking out acquisition really outside of the trades, outside of the 3 main trades, plumbing, electric, and HVAC. But had this unique opportunity. A guy we've known, Joe, for a long time. Friend, went to my high school. Awesome dude. Started this company in 2021. And I ran into him we talk about business every time we see each other and very familiar with each other's business. Ran into him at my cousin's wedding and was just like talking to him. And there was just something there. Like only been open for 5 years, been killing it. Like, up to over $6 million in revenue. Great company. But there's just been some challenges like growing pains and everything else. There was a partner involved and there's just some challenges. So I was like, dude, Joe, let's get lunch and let's just talk about what's going on with the business. And like in the back of my head, I'm thinking, man, I'd love to be a part of this somehow. So through talking to Joe and like learning more about the business, he and I just determined like, man, what an awesome opportunity if we can join forces and use MadeWell's the name of the company. If we can use MadeWell's resources and their knowledge, they've done a great job building revenue, growing sales. Their sales guys are dialed in. We were meeting with them this morning. Very impressive. They have great subs lined up. I mean, they really have a lot of it figured out, but overlay our processes, procedures, and a lot of the things that we've used to scale our business. A lot of like my mind goes immediately to like data and just making decisions based on the data and getting smart about the decision making. A lot of the SOPs that we've came up with over the years and our communication rhythms and other things, how can we overlay that and just add rocket fuel to MadeWell? So the process started, that was in October, conversations for a month or two. And then it ended up taking 3 or 4 months to get closed, but we just closed yesterday, April 2nd. So as of now, we're in the roofing business.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about like, well, why don't we, well, like what excites you about it? What excites you about roofing? What excites you about being in it?
One, I love the fact that this is all serving the residential homeowner. So we understand our customers. We understand how to provide a customer experience. We do that well. Obviously, there are specifics that's going to be different with roofing. Like they're very much a different type of measurement, square footage. The technical aspect's a little bit different, but we understand customer experience. We also understand how to scale. And we've been in able to do that in multiple platforms. Splitting up drains, adding HVAC. We just recently launched electric, but it's going well. Mini acquisition, it's been phenomenal. We've seen a lot of our friends and, other Nexstar members do this as well. So I feel confident that I think we know little of the technical aspect of roofing, but we know how to run a profitable, healthy business. And we can, as you mentioned, overlap a lot of these key business principles, but also learn. And I love learning. Like, I love new challenges. I'm excited to be able to figure out a whole new industry. And they have great leadership there now. And then we can partner up and say, hey, here's your superpower, here's ours. Let's be exceptional at training. Let's know our numbers. Let's have these conversations daily. Let's scale the right way versus just by revenue. And it just shows that we can go and grow however we want. And I think one of the things that's always surprising to me is you can have this plan and it's never going to be exact. Like, there's no way I would have known 6 months ago that we were going to do roofing. But you see an opportunity, you seize it, make sure it aligns, and now it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing, right? I mean, you have a super healthy, $5, $6, $7 million roofing company that's only 5 years old, that's doing exceptional, great customer reviews, great people there. It just shows you that it's out there. You just have to have the right relationships and the right mindset to be able to go attack it.
Yep. As we sit here, day one of owning a roofing company, I know nothing about owning a roofing company, really. I know a little more than I knew 3 months ago.
Yesterday, I was pulling up, it ended up being a Pinterest picture somehow of different roofing styles and just trying to learn, right? Like, don't know anything about roofing. And I think that's going to be important for the transition is we're not going to come in and change everything. And we're going to come in and learn, and we're going to listen. Yep. And then we're going to make decisions with MadeWell together and create the same buy-in that we've done here. This isn't a private equity acquisition. We're going to go in, remove their leadership, and come in and redo everything. We're going to listen, learn, and we're going to build out a game plan together, and it's going to be successful.
Yeah, and be adaptable to what we learn and, get their feedback and then just try to adapt to that. These are you mentioned it, but separate brands. So Jolly's going to run under its brand. MadeWell is going to run under its brand. We're still trying to figure out what the crossover is going to be. Certainly there's going to be crossover shared services in accounting, HR, probably some marketing, executive leadership, maybe eventually some sales training, maybe eventually some fleet inventory, warehouse, PO stuff, maybe call center a little bit, maybe dispatch a little bit. But first, the cool thing about this one, it's much different than our last acquisition that was a tuck-in. They're a running company right now. Their building's 8 minutes away. And we're going to go down there next week, sit there all week, work from there, learn, and I think that'll go on for a few weeks, transition all the, admin stuff, bank accounts, all that, and then we're just going to learn. We started a holding company to do this under, so the holding company will own MadeWell, owns Jolly, owns a couple of our other small businesses, and that's one of the dynamics that we're really trying to figure out and excited about is, how do we back bill for those shared services? Yeah. And I think when we used to have the cleaning and restoration company that we now merged in, and it's just a division within Jolly, but we learned a lot of what to do in that, of what not to do in that. Because it was a mess. The accounting was a mess, and it was just two merged together, but two separate all at the same time. It was a nightmare. So I think that the big learning for me that we're going to need to figure out here in the next several weeks is, how do you leverage what Jolly has without making it sloppy combined and without too much, confusion because it's two brands. I think there's definitely a way to do it. There's people that have done that before us. I couldn't be more excited about it, man. The more I think about, we have 30 or 40,000 people in our CRM and Service Titan immediately that are MadeWell potential touch points. We got to think about how to elegantly do that, right? Mm-hmm. Same as MadeWell. They're on 4 sales guys. They're on their 2 or 3 roofs a day. They're on or 10 roofs a day, opportunity to talk to customers about other things that we offer. That was something we talked to them about this morning. There's going to be a lot of training in that, a lot of us figuring it out, but man, what an opportunity.
It's crazy how stuff happens. I haven't even told you this yet. So we started in our daily huddle. Our water cleanup manager walks in. His name's Stu. Hey, man, I'm sending this over to Joe right now. A house caught on fire and the roof's gone. Happened last night. So we're going to be going out there today for roofing, and our restoration team's going out there. We had the exact same thing happen for electric. The day of electric was live, someone called in and needed a panel replacement. It's like customers want service from people they trust, and we're going to be able to create that exact same thing, and MadeWell already has that. So that's what's going to be really cool. It's going to be you get the same service whether you're calling Jolly or MadeWell. The model's different with roofing than what we're traditionally used to. So I think with roofing, we'll be learning a lot about like the subcontractor model. So what I mean by that is most of the time you have office administration that's going to handle a lot of the estimates, the billing, the overseeing. You have the sales advisor that's going to really be the first one that does the initial assessment, sends over the quote, sells the job, schedules the material, schedules the subcontractor, and then the subcontractor actually installs the roof while you have a project manager on site with full representation, which is different than some companies, which is great. We're going to keep that high quality product. We're going to do the final walkthrough as MadeWell, put the stamp on it, and the job's done. Versus now for us on the Jolly side, our historic, we rarely use subcontractors unless it's extremely specific one-off thing and it's 28-inch concrete depth and we have to call in someone with a 4-foot saw. So I'm excited to learn that too.
Dude, when you think about it, like when you think about some of the biggest challenges in the home service business in plumbing, heating, and electric, it's fulfillment. It's like we're really good at selling the job, the marketing part, we can get the leads. It's like the fulfillment that can be really hard, like actually doing the job, filling that job. I think we do a good job at it, but think like all of our staff, essentially almost all the field staff, they're fulfilling those jobs. They're the ones installing the job. So when you can kind of count on a sub, now there's work there. You got to find subs that you count on.
You got to training coach them too.
It just becomes a marketing and sales business, and then you have some people handling the subs. And so that's what I'm excited about. Yeah. I'm excited to just be able to market and sell.
Can't wait. Like, margins are less, right? They're a little bit less, but overhead's considerable less. It's going to be fun learning that and executing it, and then working with our friends in the business that are already doing it, and being with Joe, partner, and he's just a great dude. It's
going to be fun. And Joe's staying on. I think we already said that, but Joe's staying on as an owner.
Yeah, great.
So, he's got skin in the game to improve, and he's super stoked about all the things that we can help them with, hopefully. So, it's going to be an awesome partnership, man. It's going to be an awesome partnership, and I can't wait. So, what else? What else? Feels like a lot of change so far.
You know what? We've launched the podcast. It's really whipped us in straight. We've had a heating and air acquisition. We've added electric. We've done a rebrand, and now we're acquiring a roofing company. So I think the podcast has been good for us. There's no way we'd ever done those things without being able to share it. So.
Yeah. 3 months in 1 day, and we did those things, man. I'm really excited for the dust to settle. And us to just be able to get after it with like existing stuff and no new stuff here for a little while. Hopefully, we'll see. We've talked about that with acquisitions. Like you don't really plan them. We're working on trying to get them, but when they happen, you got to jump on it. It's not like the electric launch. Like we said last June, we're launching electric in February. So.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've learned, we've had, 10, 12 acquisitions that you would consider close, whatever, or in progress. When they first happened, I was going problem-solving mode. You're starting to figure stuff out. What I've learned over the process is be thinking of solutioning, but also until that dotted line is signed, it's not signed. That's probably a good lesson that I would like to share with others is don't try to change the world before it's finalized because you're going to wear yourself out. This is an endurance run here. This is not just a sprint, and everything you go to and do is going to happen immediately. Like, it takes time.
Yep.
And you got to protect yourself because you can burn yourself out. And I think we've both done a great job of like eye on the ball. Like we're growing massively, and then also knowing like, okay, this could happen. If this happens, this is what we're gonna do. This is when we're gonna do it. So it's been great.
And I think in preparation for this, we didn't know we were preparing for this, but like the hire of Corey, our director of revenue, having somebody who can help you and really step more into the role that you have, so you can step out and manage these multiple like kind of like platform or separate brands within our company. That we couldn't really do it without that. It'd been a lot more challenging.
Big.
So building the leadership, if you're wanting acquisitions, building that leadership, I think we did it without even thinking that's why. But building that leadership that can step into the role of the people that are going to be on multi-brand, like, that's super important.
100%.
I mean, I picture ourselves 2 or 3 years ago. Man, we could have done it probably, but it would have been a lot more challenging and a lot more risky, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
The other thing that's been, we're doing all this stuff. Big part of that is because we had a lot of success last year.
Sure.
I look at our 2024, it was a bad year, low net profit. 2023, not great. Like, it would have been, we couldn't have done a lot of this stuff. It wouldn't have had an appetite to do this rebrand and to definitely do these acquisitions. Like, it is that success breeds success. We're starting to feel this snowball effect. And I'm just excited to keep that snowball rolling, keep growing it. And being open to, we're not really sure what that means. Like, maybe their company comes up just like this roofing company that's in another trade. We don't know yet. But I think just looking at each one individually and being open to it, that's what excites me.
Same. Yeah, and I love like having the podcast because that is what this is. This is the road to scaling to $100 million trades business. And this is live, and it's definitely not perfect and it can be sloppy, but it's fun and exciting, and we're going to be honest and upfront and tell you the good, bad, and ugly, and celebrate things on here. That's what this is for.
There's probably going to be people listening that are like, these guys are idiots. They don't know anything about roofing, and they're right now. We don't know anything, but we're going to figure it out.
Going to know.
It's good. It is what it is. You just got to be ready to go all in and send it.
Yep.
All right, well, something you guys can do to help us, please like this podcast, like the podcast on wherever you listen to it, and subscribe and comment. We would love to hear what your feedback on episodes that you'd like to hear. So any topics, please put them in the comments. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Thanks for tuning in this week's episode of Reimagining Home Services. We're super excited that we'll have 3 episodes every month come out. They're going to be on all your major platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and also leave a comment if there's a topic that you'd like us to cover.